सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। प्रातः स्मरामि हृदि संस्फुरदात्मतत्त्वम् सच्चित् सुखं परमहं सगतिं तुरीयम् यत् स्वप्नजागर सुषुप्तमवेति नित्यम् तद्ब्रह्म निष्कलमहं न च भूतसङ्गः तपोभिक्षीणपापानां शान्तानां वीतरागिनां मुमुक्षोर्नामपेक्षोऽयम् आत्मबोधो विधीयते। Welcome. So today's class is based, the topic is ignorance makes you pay, and how it makes you pay. Amazing. The very onset of it, ignorance in Sanskrit is called avidya. Avidya is not opposite of vidya. Avidya is lesser ignorance than the knowledge. So knowledge and ignorance is just differentiated in degrees. They are not different in kind. Okay, so it's vidya, avidya. I need to say this. Why? Because many people, after listening to lectures such as this, they immediately start arrogating that they have started getting knowledge and other people vis-a-vis are ignorant. So that attitude of I have the knowledge and others are ignorant should not be there, because from my point, what is knowledge is from a higher point of view just ignorance. So it's just a matter of degree, not of kind. When you look at the world around, you'll see that we are surrounded by laws of nature, actual physical comprehensible laws, like the law of gravity. When an object falls from a higher plane to a lower plane, it falls at the speed of 32 feet per second is law of gravity. Law of hydraulics, where when the pressure of the water builds up too much, then it has an impact at the surface below. Law of conservation of energy, that no energy is ever destroyed. It only changes form from mechanical to chemical to magnetic, vagara vagara, continues. So all these laws are functioning in the world. If you want to deal with the world properly, you have to start looking at these laws from the point of view of I need to understand them. Once you understand the laws, you don't have any fear of it. An 80-year-old man or a 40-year-old person puts his hand inside the fire and it burns, and that guy is a criminal, he's a bad guy. A 1-year-old child walking on all fours puts its finger by mistake into fire. The fire god will not come and say, "Are re re re, such a sweet kid, I will not burn you." Ignorance of the law is not escape from the law. So just as we need to study the physical laws surrounding us and function accordingly in the world, similarly, there are other aspects of the world which you need to study. which may not be as perceptible as the physical laws. This whole world is made up of three aspects of life: plants, animals, and human beings. It is said that the life sleeps in plants, dreams in animals, and wakes up in human beings. A plant life is restricted. It has got a physical body, but no emotions and no thinking. When we use the term in Vedanta, no emotions, we always mean that there is a rudimentary emotion, as discovered by Dr. Jagdish Chandra Bose, that plants react to emotions, right? But very, very limited sense of way. It can sit in one place if you are out of the house for 7 days and dry itself, but 2 feet away there may be water and it will not be accessed. The plant will die. It doesn't have the strength to do that. A better evolved creature is the animal. Animals are more evolved than they can go and walk around miles in search of food and water. But again, they have a limitations. Where the body is functioning, they have an emotion, tremendous amount of emotion. There are examples ad galore in the YouTube and all these things where they have studied chimpanzees and elephants, and the emotions of some of the chimpanzees or animals is just amazing for their own family. So that level of emotion is there in the animals. But when it rains, it will stand there and get wet, or it will seek a natural habitat where it can hide. It cannot create anything to get out of it. Only a human being, because the consciousness is sleeping in plants, is awake a little bit in the animal kingdom, but it is most awake in the human being. The advantage of animals and plants is right from day one, they have an inbuilt process system. They have an attitude, everything is inbuilt. It's programmed about how they are going to live the next X amount of days or years. All animals, right from baby childhood, if a giraffe, a giant giraffe is a pregnant giraffe, if she gives birth to a baby giraffe, the giraffe literally falls from a height of 8 feet. Patak, it falls. And the first thing that mother giraffe does is comes, licks it, and then slowly starts kicking it with its strong hoof, because it is supposed to wake up or get up on all fours within the first 5 minutes of its birth. If it doesn't get up, then it's a meal to other carnivorous animals or birds for that matter. So all this inbuilt program, and it gets up and it starts moving 5 minutes of birth. In that case, a human baby is the most stupidest of all, because it takes X amount of months, perhaps years, to nurture the baby. The only advantage is nothing is programmed. As far as the human baby is concerned, their most valuable aspect of their life is education. They learn through adaptation and then readapting themselves with various environments, constantly educating themselves. So this is where a human being, since a human being is given an buddhi, an intellect to think, to analyze, to reason, to create, which an animal cannot, they have also been given something beautiful. If this beautiful aspect is used in their personality, they become great people. If not, then the same aspect sinks them down. This is called self-effort. We did a lot of self-effort in Yoga Vasishtha. So self-effort is given to a human being so that the person can think, educate, and become better. With this self-effort, nature, God, or whatever you call, has given the power to the human being and said, this is your life. You make it, or you break it. And this is where a human being is supposed to choose. He can't sit and give examples of this is the way the plants function, this is the way animals function, this is the way I am, this is the way I was. All those discussions go out of the window, since you have this choice of effort to do right now what needs to be done. So because of this choice of effort, he has a choice. A human being has a choice. Either to live in ignorance or through knowledge. These two things a human being has. Either you live in ignorance or you live in knowledge. Once you live in ignorance, then whole life goes in a different way. Once you live in knowledge, it moves into a different way. I'll tell you how the ignorance starts. Human beings also live a lot in what we call the herd instinct. Herd instinct is where, just like animals moving in a particular herd, human beings also, without thinking, move in a particular way of life because everybody else is doing it. There's this beautiful example of some caterpillars called processory caterpillars. One experiment was conducted where this scientist took a pot. In between the pot, he put a pine needle, which is the food of these caterpillars, pine caterpillars. And he put some caterpillars around the circumference of the pot at the edges, one after the other, processory caterpillars, and he just let them be. Food was down. They are following each other behind, constantly moving on and moving on. They are moving because the other person is moving. The other person is moving. They are constantly moving on. And after an X amount of time, all the caterpillars, out of fatigue, fell down into the pot and died because of lack of food, which was there right in front of them. The same attitude sometimes human beings have, which is called the herd instinct. Everybody is doing, let me do it. So not a single person is asking any questions, they're just doing it. This is life in ignorance. So when you are living a life of ignorance, that means you are not thinking. Number one, ignorant life means I have stopped thinking what I should be doing in my life. And I have started listening to others what I am. So ignorant life is opinions of everybody around is molding me as a human being. As soon as you look into that, then your attitude becomes what we call extroverted. You look into the world, and as soon as you start looking extroverted into the world, you stop living. Then you are only existing. The difference between existing and living is it comes from within. Existing is you are looking at the society and each and every aspect of what is happening outside and trying to match your level with theirs. So it's either bred from inferiority complex or a superiority complex. I know more than them. Usually even superiority complex is inferiority complex only. I am lesser than them. You start existing in the level. Existing means you are focusing only on everybody's standard of living. What do they do? How are they living? So what becomes your point of focus? How much is their money? How big is their car? How big is their bungalow? Which all countries their relationships are? All these concepts make you. They don't make you, actually they break you. But according to the world, they make you. So constant comparison with every aspect of other people's living standards. And it's a rat race which never ends. It never ends. Constantly, I am comparing myself with everybody. Ignorance, avidya has seeped in every aspect of my personality. Mind has become corrupt with thoughts and ideas pitched by TV news channels or any of these constantly blaring and blaring and blaring and coloring your idea about what something should be, and constantly digging into you what something is not. Ultimately, we start believing that because they are saying it. The doctors are saying it. The nurses are saying it. The Prime Minister is saying it. The President is saying it. US is saying it. Sweden is saying it. So many people are saying it. How can it be wrong? 2 plus 2, 5. 2 plus 2, 5. 2 plus 2, 5. And when somebody comes and educates you, excuse me, 2 plus 2 is 4, your contention is, but everybody is saying 2 plus 2 is 5. How can everybody be wrong? This is ignorance. One of my friends was supposed to go abroad to New Zealand, very close friend of mine. This is before Vedanta. But by the time I was already reading the books. So he came and said, next week I am going. I said, congratulations, very good. You wanted to go abroad and you're going for work and all. He said, you know, in our area, there is an astrologer. I would like to visit, palmist, person who reads the palms. I would like to visit him. I said, do you believe in him, what he's going to say? I don't believe, I believe in my self-effort. I said, then why are you going? I say, yaar, I'm not believing, but farak kya padta hai, jaate jaate mil lenge. One of my friends, I said, okay, go, doesn't matter, move on. He went to meet the astrologer. He came back in the evening. He called me down and he said, you know, the astrologer looked at my hand, he looked at my chart and everything. And he said that if I go to the country, 15 days after I go, my father will expire. This is what is a true story. So he said, he looked at me. I said, yeah, but you don't believe him, right? You don't believe him. How is your father's karma connected to anything? No, you are right. I don't believe him. But if it happens, then I will keep on putting that blame that I should have done something. I said, now since this thought has entered your head, you do. At that time, I'm putting the clock 30 years back, he had to pay 25,000 rupees for a puja to remove that so-called karmic block between him and his father. Then he was happy. He said, I did the puja. Now no problem. He went. Nothing happened to the dad. He was there for 1-2 years more. But the reference point was, because I did this, nothing happened. Look at the way ignorance functions. Everything functions as soon as you entertain it here. I am sick. This coronavirus, the ignorance thing where we are discussing, this whole virus brought out something dramatic amongst everybody. It has nothing to do with physical. 2% of the people are dying. The rest are all getting cured. It is nothing to do physical. But look at everybody's condition mentally. Mentally, they have become sick. They are only existing. That's it. Everybody is afraid. Everybody is afraid of doing anything. Jobs are getting lost. Yes, jobs are getting lost. What do? What is the next step? These things are happening. What is the next step? We should do something for the migrants. You do it. What is the next step? We are not thinking. This is living in ignorance. All the parents, all the grandparents, look at the way the children are being brought up. Each and every child is focusing. As soon as the child becomes 6th standard, 7th standard, the demand has come for iPhones, not even normal phones, so that they can show it to everybody. Have actually a case where this girl from a higher floor, she told the parents that if I don't get the iPhone, I will jump and die. They had to give the iPhone. Children are deciding the menus of the house. What do you want to eat, Baba? Today we will eat pav bhaji. They are eating. Children are deciding what to eat and what not to eat. Where are the values? Where are the value systems? All the education system, all the schools and colleges are focusing only on more and more and more information. To keep the children busy in schools, lot of cultural activities start now from December onwards. Lot of cultural activities, this activity, that activity, goes on and on and on. Except values. Unless you teach children the right things of life, they will always be attracted to the wrong end. Before the society teaches the children how good is to enjoy these wrong things, parents and elders are supposed to teach them what are the repercussions if you follow the wrong things. But it doesn't happen. And this country, that country, any country, we spoil rotten all the children just for the sake of showing off to the world that my child does this. This is the life of, and this is just materially. This is just materially, money-wise. I myself, before Vedanta, somebody told me that I am this particular star. I don't believe in all those stars now, therefore I'm not telling you, otherwise you start analyzing it. I belong to a particular star, and the person said, you should know your luck is not very good because Rahu and Ketu both are fighting. I have never come across why they are fighting, first of all. But they are fighting. Rahu and Ketu are fighting. Therefore, to control their energies, you need to buy a ruby stone. And the ruby stone should be in a gold ring. I told the astrologer, if I had gold to money to buy, I would not come to you. Right? I can't afford gold that much. He said, okay, then do one thing, buy a silver ring. So I actually, this is before Vedanta, okay? I bought a silver ring with the ruby stone. 6 months I waited for something magical to happen because my star was looking at me and saying, I'm coming, I'm coming. And I looked at it and said, please come, please come. Bad luck is going. Sade Sati, Shani is coming around everywhere. I don't know what to do. 6 months, nothing happened. Then I came across the answer. I am not working properly. I didn't put the efforts, right efforts in the right direction needed. After that, I'm showing you. No mala, no tavis, no rings. I don't need, this is what the knowledge says, you don't need anything external to make you happy. You are just happy as you are. That strength is not there in the ignorant. So this is just financial, physical. People are eating what is not supposed to eat. You're not supposed to eat that. People are drinking, they are living a licentious life. Trying to enjoy, no timings, just enjoying whatever comes in it. And the attitude is the tamasic attitude. Anything, one day we are going to die, no? I went to one of the houses for introduction class. Somebody wanted a class in their house. So introduction I went. And I was telling them, you should not smoke, you should not drink because smoking, finishes of your liver, lung, drinking finishes of either way, and then you will stop losing your stamina. All problems will start. You'll not be able to walk properly. There's these two aunties behind. They got up. They were in track pants. They raised their hand. I said, yes, what can I do for you? They said that, sir, we have got our auntie. She is 80-year-old. She smokes. She is a chain smoker and she drinks every day. Nothing happens to her. I said, then you also drink. You also drink and smoke. Maybe nothing will happen to you. This is the attitude of a tamasic person. So many things are going wrong. Sir, what's wrong? What's wrong if this I do? Everybody is doing it anyway. If everybody is doing it and you're giving me all the wrong examples, you will also end up there. This is physically. At least if you want to enjoy the world, you have to live longer to enjoy the world. I'm talking to a worldly person, not spiritual person. You have to live longer to enjoy the world. If you have to live longer, why can't you stay fit for yourself? I love my mother. I love my father. My children, they are my life. Your children are your life. They are still small. When they grow up and they are trying to get married, you should be alive. Your health, when I'm saying your health, I'm saying generality. People's health has gone down so much that they don't know what they're eating and what they are not. I have lost friends like that who are not focused on how to live life. And those people for whom you want to live, you are not there. It's the most selfish life. Life of ignorance is the most selfish life, because in the name of love, you are trying to take care of others where your health is going down the drain. This is not love. Love is where you live for them. You do what it is for them. We'll cover that eventually. So this is physically what to eat, what not to eat. Mentally, what kind of thoughts you are supposed to entertain. 3 months of Bandh, I think so, 3 months or 3.5 months. In these 3.5 months, take a notebook, okay? Weekly, monthly, just write what are the thoughts you have entertained. Essay, generally, what are the thoughts predominantly you have entertained in these 3.5 months? What are the things you heard? What are the things you thought? You will be shocked with the lethargic items you would pen down. Hardly anybody. These 3 months, sir, I have been the most dynamic. It passed like a whiff of fresh air. I am exercising more, I am eating more, I am more healthier, I am studying more, I am analyzing more. Now I know which direction my life is supposed to take. Till now I was confused because I was running around everywhere. Now I have a direction I can go. Lethargy in the mind. This is ignorance. Blind rituals, blind superstitions. World Cup football is decided by tortoise. Mosquitoes. This is what is decision making of everything around you. Blind suit. This happened. So what? If I come to your house, by the side of the house in the early morning, and I put a chalk powder aside, put a swastika and put 2 nimbus and a mirchi, and you open the door and you find that, what goes on in your head? How many of you are intelligent enough to take the nimbu and make nimbu pani, lemon water, and simply consume it? Take mirchi, make a vegetable. No. Who did this? Why did this? Oh my God, something bad is going to happen because somebody has done this. It's going to happen. No, I had a pandit and the pandit said, 2 दिन के अंदर बहुत खराब होने वाला है आपका. Hey Bhagwan, I hope nothing happens. I hope nothing happens. I hope nothing. This thought itself will make things happen. I hope nothing happens. When the thought makes it happen, it will happen. When it happens, you will attribute whatever is happening in your life to that nimbu and mirchi. Blind superstitions. Mechanical. If you do this puja, it will become all right. How? This how doesn't come in an ignorant person. They live a life of an animal and they die thus. Therefore, in the Shastras, there is no sympathy for an ignorant person. One of the child asked me in one of the schools I'm teaching. The child said, sir, what to do when somebody is depressed? I said, when somebody is depressed, you can't do anything. Because you can do something when the person is not depressed. Depression already going through something. At that time, you go to a psychiatrist, they will give you medicine to sleep, to bring this calm down a little. And after that, there has to be proactive measures. Depression is going on, nervous breakdown is going on. Everybody is afraid of something or the other. You always say, you want to die, you die once. Don't die 100 deaths. Just once is enough. Live a life. Don't get me wrong, when I'm saying live once, doesn't mean you remove the mask and start walking outside. I'm saying be careful, take great care, but get rid of this fear mentally that anything has happened to you. If it happens, take care. Otherwise, no. This is living in ignorance. Intellectually, your life is reduced to a small aspect. Whole 70, 80 years is gone. What you have done? Nothing. With this choice of effort, when we said initially, you move to knowledge. When you move to knowledge, as in ignorance, the whole spotlight of your life is what is happening in my life. You are a selfish person. You know what happened to me? You know what happened? Who's bothered? Who's not happening to you? Nobody's bothered. You know what happened in my life? I'm not bothered. Nobody's bothered, because everybody's life is a story in itself. If you want to remember all the pains and tragedies in your life, you just have to look right and left, and there will be 2-3 people crying the same thing, worse than what you are going through. Everybody's crying over something or the other. Spread goodness. So when you are selfish, when you are arrogant and say, look at me, look at me, look at me, the world is not interested. There's a beautiful poem. Feast and you will feed with many. Fast and the days go by. When you call somebody in the house and say, come, I visit everybody, a marriage is there, there is no food, we are just going to sing bhajans for 12 hours and then you can go home. Nobody will come. Fasting, nobody will come. Feasting, everybody will come. When you are happy, everybody will come. When you are sad, nobody will come. This is the law. Selfish life is ignorance. Unselfish life, selfless life is knowledge. When you have knowledge, you understand life is meant for something else. You look at life at entirely a different way. Now suddenly you don't want anything from anybody. Neither money, nor physical help, nor an emotional hang-up, nor an intellectual idea. You don't want it. You are contented completely with what you are. Now the attitude, because you have enough. I have enough on my table, a little, like Ram Tirtha puts it, bread on my table, a little bit, a roof over my head, and a small change in my pocket. My life is enough. I'm done. So when you have that attitude, now the attitude will be, what can I do for others? How can I be generous? What can I do to help others to alleviate their pain? I can say that those pains are imaginary, but they are crying with that pain. Therefore, for them it is real. What can I do to help them? How I can help? As soon as you start thinking this, your life has taken a different route. Selflessness is not to do good with the world. Don't do good with the world. The world doesn't need your goodness. Selflessness is focusing on your growth. Just as a tree, a sapling grows, and the focus of the sapling is only its growth. It digs deep its root in itself, and it shoots up and it just grows. Its attitude is to touch the sky. Doesn't matter whether it touches or not, but the attitude is unilateral growth. As soon as it focuses on its growth, it grows wide and apart. And all the birds and insects come there and make houses. It does good to the society, not with an attitude to do good. The attitude is focused on one's growth. Therefore, within your intrinsic self of value, grow from there. To keep proper values, move and move unilaterally towards the higher. Don't try to do good. It's okay. As you grow, I asked this to Swamiji long time back. How can I help others in Vedanta? Putting the clock 25 years back when I was in the academy. How can I help others in Vedanta? He simply said, who told you to help? You're not supposed to help. Give me this education, I'm giving this to you. Make yourself a pond. Fill yourself with water. You focus on only filling the pond with water. As soon as the water is going to be full, the whole world will put pipes inside you and draw the water out. Don't try to do good. It will be done. How to go about it is a different session altogether. That will be continuing eventually. You become somebody special. The last aspect of Kung Fu Panda, I tell you, that's one of my favorite movies. In that Kung Fu Panda, that villain tiger, he looks at the panda and says, what are you going to do? You are the dragon warrior. You are just a panda. And he dismisses him. And this panda says, I am not just a panda. I am the panda. Person remains the same. Individuality remains the same. Your attitude towards who you are changes. Previously, how the world used to view is not what you are. You are changed. I am the person. I am not a person. I am somebody special in life. And how to go about it? Systematically, we'll move from here now towards further topics of to move step by step towards the higher evolutions of life. We'll continue next time. Thank you. Hari Om.